In this episode, we try to deconstruct the entire back of the Charger and then figure out how to get it all back together.
Time I'm all about.
Well, it's going to need maybe, probably 10 minutes to dry quick?
Yeah. Well, by the time we get these off, clean it up.
With the hole I'm lined up.
Pretty good. Right here.
Right there.
Do yourself a favor. Whole window actuator assembly, don't take it off unless you have to. We had to change one really melted like pulley or wheel, and it's just a pain in the ass. Now we have brackets. We're trying to figure out how they interlock. It's not worth it. Don't do it. Maybe I can go without windows.
We just go in about an inch, you know, and then we get the rest of it off.
Alright, what I'm doing right now is I'm going to actually weld in this bar onto the frames on the back side underneath. It's going to allow us to have clearance still to be able to get the trunk pan in once we remove the tail panel. The goal is that we're going to get, since we have this quarter now bolted on and screwed into place, we're going to put the other quarter on, get that screwed into place, and then we'll be ready to remove this tail panel. When we do that, what we're afraid of is the frame sucking in on the tail end and manipulating the entire back so we can't get it to all fit nice and proper. So hopefully this bar will prevent it from being able to, I guess, twist in, and then this should be able to bolt up right back normal again. So we'll see.
seeing the same thing I'm seeing. Of course, that fucker's moved too.
Has it?
Oh. What number do you see there?
Fourteen 3/8.
No. On the line.
Wait, straight. Are you talking middle, or where are you talking?
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, looking straight down. 14. Well,
A half. You see where the half is?
yeah, I gotta come out a little bit. I'm trying to look straight down down the rail here.
Yeah. Don't look down the rail. Look.
Yeah, I have to come out. If I come out slightly, it's gonna be a half.
Yeah. And that's what we're looking at. I don't care about this piece.
Yeah.
So 14 and a half there. And this one's a little more trickier. If you look right here, you can look down the center here.
Yeah, that is a bit harder. Looks like what?
9/16. 14 and 9/16.
All right.
So, big difference over here at basically where I thought the edge was to this line. Five and 7/8 from this line. 5 and a half from the edge to here.
Okay.
5 and a half. So that's our 4 measurements that we have. Got it.
Came off.
Yeah. That I see, before we put this on, I think we change this a little bit. We drill your holes here. 3, maybe 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. And we'll weld them in from the inside.
Thanks. So.
Tabs. We'll have to weld this on right before we weld this on.
After.
Before. If this is welded down, how are we gonna weld these tabs? We're not. So,
Well, we have to go from the bottom. Weld up. So if we weld this last, right? Out of the two, we weld this second. We can weld bottom up, and then once it goes on,
oh yeah,
we can weld back.
we can weld up.
Yep. So we still have access to all the
We
welds.
can actually, yeah, do the back on these.
Yep.
These do from under here.
So I went through and prepped this inner back passenger area. The quarter is going to have to run over it, so I need to make sure it's sprayed with an encapsulator prior to us putting the quarter on. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to easily get to it. Right now, the window and all the parts for the window are currently being sandblasted, or I will have to get to that once we finally get the quarter fitted, know exactly where it needs to be. We'll get those parts done, reassembled, put back on the car, and then quarter will get welded on. But I have to do the bottom prep first. I've already hit this with a sandblaster in a lot of the areas, and then with fine sandpaper to try to get rid of any rough spots for the rust. I'll put encapsulator right on this, and I should not have any issues in the future with anything that's left, because that encapsulator will stop everything that tries to come back. So other than that, let's get it sprayed. Now that I have pretty much the entire panel coated as I need to, what I'm going to do is go around, and any place where there's an edge that sticks pretty close to me, and I'll show you what I mean. So hopefully I can get this to zoom in a little bit on an edge. Come on, I believe in you, camera. So along this edge here, it actually sticks out towards me. So any edge like that, what I did is went through as best as I could. There we go. So I went through as best I could with any paint that I've left in the gun and trying to hit every single angle you can. It's happened a few times so far where I've gotten done, cleaned the gun, happen to walk past it one more time, and I see a spot I've missed on one of the edges. So now's the time to take your time, making sure you have every angle you can covered. Otherwise, I take like a paint marker, I circle it, and then next time the gun comes out, I gotta make sure I hit that point. But other than that, I think it's coming out pretty good. I'm gonna keep doing some little spots here I'm seeing. We'll go from there.
welded in. Floor pan tacked in so that you can finish the welding.
Yep.
We got the lower half separated of this.
Yep.
So we're still ahead, Mike.
And yeah, we got the hinges on, but I still need to mess with that. Yeah. Because it shuts, but it doesn't stay shut.
Yeah.
So.
And I mean, we can work with it and adjust it, but I think a lot of it's because it's missing hardware.
Yeah.
I mean, this fucking thing, it moves.
And the door moves.
Yeah.
I'm catching a pattern here.
Well, either way. I mean, the line looks good from there.
Yeah.
Short of a small adjustment once we get hardware. So Mike, you got 2 quarters mounted to your car right now. You got a trunk tacked in. And it'll take you, what, 30 minutes to finish that. And also, check your fit with your extensions.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
drill.
Now we can drill those over.
You're gonna have to drill out this way. Because
Yeah.
I think we're gonna have to weld in here.
Yeah, we won't have room on the outside, I
Yeah.
don't think.
So,
Now without removing the quarters, but we'll.
you know, drill these out, probably 10 or 15 across there, whatever. Figure out how it sits down in here, nice and neat. This one fits better, so you might get a better fit. You know, these we know where they go. Kinda know where they go.
Yeah, they're like right. I think they line up right off that line right there,
Yeah,
if I remember correct.
yeah. I don't.
But I'm sure there's
Took 'em off.
gonna be a mounting point on this,
Yeah.
or on that lower valance, on the other room, or right here. So I'm sure one of those holes probably line up
I bet they both do.
like that.
Looks wide enough. I bet they both do.
Let me grab one.
And then here's your for your wires. Oh yeah. It's close. Yeah.
So I mean that's gonna be easy. It's gonna be quite literally just plug them in.
Yeah.
So.
And that's something you can do. You know? Just get it lined up and get it clamped in. Well, I'd wait
I'd wait.
till we get it on, because if we need to go up or down with it.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's not rush it, you know.
I've been welding for hours. Honestly, I just need a break. I didn't realize how long welding gets until you have to do hundreds of spot welds. And I realized that on the floor pan, but I didn't realize to that extent because it had been drawn out for days. This is now day 2 of me working on this floor, in the trunk. Yeah. I'm taking a break. this one is kind of close,
Yeah.
but we're gonna have to probably, so it's clamped,
And remember,
it's clamped,
this will come in.
well, no, hold on, it's clamped back here.
Okay.
The issue is that this front notch,
Uh-huh.
because we didn't replace the wheel well fully,
Mm-hmm.
and I say that, you know, because we overlapped it some, the fitment's not perfect, and in turn,
If you clamp that corner.
that what I think we're gonna do is have to probably put a screw back here,
Uh-huh.
and then take that rubber mallet and pop and kind of bend, it'll force its way into where it needs to be, and then we can do it that way.
Well, I think if we get under there with a couple good clamps.
Dude, the issue, yeah, maybe, but I doubt it. And this side's relatively close. Like, I was actually gonna screw those into place today, maybe even weld them, if I can get them ready, but they're not anywhere close. All right. So what I'm gonna switch to now is trying to repair some of the damage that's on this taillight bezel. There's quite a bit of rust on it. I've already gone through and did a lot of the spot welds to fill some of the holes that were randomly drilled. However, there is some more rust on it that I need to address, specifically up on the top. So on the passenger side, it doesn't seem too bad. There is a couple spots here that I'll have to go through and touch up, and I'm kind of afraid of the rust that's going to be underneath this. I'd already hit it with rust encapsulator at one point, just when I was spraying the rails after I prepped the holes for the fender for where the quarter will bolt onto. However, this side, dramatically worse. And as you can tell, it's pretty much eaten through the entire section. Now, what I am afraid of is if I just cut this off, I don't know how secure it is on the back side from preventing it from moving. So it seems like it would probably hold, but I just don't want to take the chance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this and remove one section at a time. So I may start with this over here, just cut a new template out as best I can. I'll mock it up off of this one because I can kind of see the curve that needs to happen much better than here. So I'll mock that up, get that welded in, then switch over to this side and actually finish. So that should be fine, and then I'll tackle this. But I don't want to hack up the good side for a template before I get done with the bad side, because that's going to be my reference. So we'll see how it goes. But there's a lot of rust there. Hopefully I don't have to replace that panel because of that. the trunk lid with media blasting as best I can. I mean, it's best it's gonna get. It's really dusty here. And I also went through and hit the taillight bezel. Backside's not 100% yet. I might hit it one more time, but the front seems to look pretty good. Everything else seemed to came off. A little bit of what you'll see is a little discoloration like here, which is all metal that we've put on to help reinforce some sections that don't exactly require welding, but might seem a little weak. So there's that area down there. I'm going to go through and hit some of these back points again if I need to, and then clean these up and get ready for welding. So hopefully the next thing I can do with this is actually get it on the car, and it should be good to go. I'm going to have to hit it with a rust encapsulator. I am going to also have to hit trunk lid with the encapsulator as well. But this came up pretty well. Not too many issues that I'm worried about along these edges here. But yeah. It doesn't matter. I've worn a respirator and also a hood. It just gets everywhere.
All right, we're in.
Good. I'll apply pressure on the top. If you want to dip.
See right here, it's right, but here it's not.
Unscrew those bolts, loosen up slightly, slide it an eighth of an inch up further, and still just push it. See our, we're pretty damn close. Alright, that will be the end of this video. We've gotten the back end of the car as good as we can right now. It still is going to require a little bit of tweaking just because of how much there is to try to all mate together. It's sitting a little bit lower than we want it to. We actually have to try to get it to raise up slightly. May have to modify it to make it work how we have it if we can't get the back end to lift. It's about half an inch too low. The pan is sitting on the rails, but we cannot get all the holes to line up as needed for the bumper. So that means that the entire taillight bezel and this rear part down here are just too low. We've tried a couple things, putting a jack underneath it, trying to get it to just raise up that way, but we'll see. But yeah, other than that, it has come along pretty well. So I have essentially everything tacked in. I mean, it's solid, and go from there. So
the last couple episodes, the car has came a long way. Hopefully we're going to be making better progress on it within the next probably month or so. And I will try to get some of these videos out more frequently. This was a very large one just because I wanted to try to get this entire taillight bezel mounted. Maybe not welded, but at least mounted before I finish this episode. If you like the build and you want to see more, subscribe. If you don't like the build, subscribe. Tell me why you don't like it. If I'm doing something wrong, tell me. Because I'm figuring this out one day at a time, just like you guys. But other than that, that's all I got.